I want to talk about some steps it will take for you to have a promotion in your life. Anybody ready for a promotion in their life? Drop some flames, emojis, ones, whatever you want in the chat box if you're ready to have a promotion in your life. All right. I'm going to drop me something in here because I'm definitely always ready for a promotion. All right. So next thing is this. The first thing is this. You have to start looking at your life, and you have to start looking at success, and you have to start looking at wealth and all these different things that you want to obtain as easy. Okay. You have to look at success and money and these different things that you want to attain as easy. Somebody dropped the word easy. All right. I want you to just get that in your head. That was easy. All right. Easy. The first thing is you got to become a goal obsessed. All right. You have to decide to, there we go. Easy. You have to decide to say no to everything else. Okay. You have to make sure you have a clear vision and you become completely obsessed with your goal. You don't want to get caught in the, hands of multiple spaces basket. You want to go into this, what we call confusion graveyard. Okay. I want you to be in that space where you can really thrive and grow and flourish about what it is that you want. You won't get real freedom until you are obsessed. Okay. So the first thing you want to write down is, and you want to ask yourself, are you obsessed? You will not get real freedom until you are obsessed. Whatever you want, it wants you. All right. Whatever you want, it wants you. Because if you're obsessed about something, if you're focused on something, you're going to get it. All right. You're going to attract it to you. It's just vice versa. You become this magnet. You know, if you ever come across people who are having a bad day and their energy is off and you come in contact with them, well, you can literally start you put yourself in a space of resistance. You don't want to be around that. You don't want that energy on you, right? But imagine if you were in a good mood, or if they were in a good mood, and how you guys will attract each other and how it's a great experience in that moment, a great vibe, as we say, right? Good vibes only. So you want to put yourself in a space of being goal obsessed. Whatever you want, whatever you strongly desire, it strongly desires you. All right. You have to have an emotional attachment to what it is that you want. Okay. You have to have an emotional attachment to what it is that you want. God will give you the desires of your heart. And understand this, when you are praying for things, I always tell people, once you have the desire, ultimately that is your prayer. But if your conscious mind, what you speak out consciously, the awareness side, if that counteracts, if it contradicts what you feel in your heart, then you're having what we call a two-way prayer. Okay. So a lot of people can pray for a better health, better lifestyle, but then what they feel in their heart contradicts what they say out of their mouth. So you have to make sure that they touch and agree. All right. Somebody say agree in the chat box for me. All right. You have to make sure that you're touching and agreeing, emotionally attached to what it is that you want, and whatever you want wants you. All right. The second thing is this. You have to maintain a positive mental attitude at all times. You have to think strong. All right. You have to think strong. Think about Kobe. Think about Michael Jordan. Think about Tyler Perry. Just think about a lot of different people, Oprah Winfrey, who have a strong, positive mental attitude. At the end of the day, no matter what you're pursuing in your life, whether it's a better relationship with yourself, with your friends, with your family, or finding a lifelong partner, better relationship with your colleagues, better financial situation, better health, better mentally, physically, socially, all these different areas of your life. Guys, life is a sport. A lot of goals that you're going to attain is going to be like a sport. Okay. You want to have a champion mindset. All right. Champion mindset. Because if you're thinking little, if you're thinking below the means, if you're thinking in lack and you're thinking of those things, that's what you're going to continuously attract. And if you're wondering why you're spinning in circles and you keep maybe following into the same situations and the same circumstances, is because you don't have a champion mindset. All right. You can't be a spectator. You can't be standing on the ropes. You can't be in and out. All right. You got to make up a decision in your mind that I'm going to be awesome, that I'm going to be great, that I'm going to be better, that I'm going to be stronger. All right. Somebody drop in the chat box that I am. All right. I am stronger. I am positive. I am amazing. All right. I am powerful. I am a creator. When you understand that I am resides within you guys, then you have to understand that power resonates with you. God said I am. All right. So when you realize that you have those same powers, those same strength as God. All right. Of course, he is the peak of it all, but you do have some of those traits that live within you. Well, you have to truly believe and know that I am, that I say I am, and that you can create and attract these things to you. You got to stop crying. You got to stop whining. Don't nobody care about the obstacles that you go through, because all of us have obstacles. But the difference between you and everybody else was going to be, which obstacles do you give praise? Which obstacles do you give glory? Which obstacles do you magnify that they become the dominant speech of your life? They become so dominant in everything that you say, because whatever you say and you believe, it will come to fruition. Remember, two-way prayer. If your words and your heart touch and agree, you have what we call a successful prayer. Okay, understand that you can complain. Your complaining can be a prayer as well. Okay, your whining can be a prayer as well. You have to think and act like a winner and become a winner. I am a winner. Do I have some winners on the call tonight? All right. Do I have any winners on the call tonight? The third thing is this: you got to lock in under mentorship, whether they are dead or alive. What does that mean? A lot of people that I even listen to that are on YouTube, a lot of books that I have, these people have been gone for decades. All right. But of course, we have people in the now that you can also emulate and gather wisdom and mentorship from as well. You want to make sure that you don't want to get to a space where you think you know everything. Okay. Because what happens if you believe you know everything, you're going to begin to slide back. Okay. So you want to make sure you understand, you keep people in your ear, to keep the personal development and the spiritual development in your ear. Are you reading? What's your current book that you're reading? All right. I just got a new book. It's let me go get my book. Y'all give me a second. I'm gonna go get my new book. It's like 11 books. All right. It's a thick book. All right. You got to make sure that you have information that you're always reading, information that you're always listening to, information that you're always digesting. You know, sometimes I open up my social media feed and I go to the discovery page and I get annoyed in like 30 seconds when I'm like, it's so mind numbing sometimes. Like, I have to be specific about where I'm headed when I open social media, because otherwise you'll be dumb as a doorknob if you just allow anything to digest in your spirit all day. All right. So this is the book I had with me today, The Millionaire Next Door. But the new book that I got is actually 14 books in one by one of my favorite spiritual leaders, Neville Goddard. And it's crazy. It's really deep, but it's a thick one. But I'm going to get through it. All right. Now, one thing I want to say about reading as well is make sure you guys repeat your reads. All right. Sometimes you can go to certain chapters and digest it, because at first read, you're just reading it, right? You're gathering the information. You're trying to think of the point of view of the author. But that second read, you want to understand what the author was, what were they saying? Digest definitions and try to understand their point of view and how it's supposed to be applied to your life. All right. So lock into mentorship, whether they are dead or alive, whether there's audio books, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, physical books, physical copies, conferences, whatever you need to do to make sure you stay grounded mentally and spiritually. All right. To continue to develop yourself and emotionally, of course, emotionally as well. All right. And be aware of who they listen to. Okay. Be aware of who they listen to. Take notes, because they always mention books that they've read along the way. Follow all the mentors who have proven results. That's the main thing. Follow all the mentors who have proven results and ultimately who move with integrity and transparency. Everybody out here creating success, having results, but that doesn't necessarily mean they did it within their means, within integrity and honesty and transparency. You don't want to be out there following somebody that's going to have you go to jail. All right. So be mindful of that. The next thing is build a champion belief system. Okay. Build a champion belief system. Stare at your goals. All right. When was the last time you actually stared at your goals? Okay. I got another thing for y'all. Here's my goal book. All right. I printed it off. I think it was last month, and all my goals are in it. So some nights I come in here and I just look at it, and it's pages. All right. The first pages is scriptures that I read to myself. It has my why in there. It has what's in it for me. Why am I pursuing the things that I'm pursuing? The next thing after that, I just want to let you guys know how specific you have to be. All right. Because a lot of people are asking for things, they're desiring things, but they don't have a plan. I speak to so many people all the time and they desire things. And I say, well, did you do this yet? And they do that. And they'll tell you what they need to do. But ultimately, I've been challenging people lately to say, okay, well, send me a picture of it when you get it done. All right. Just to hold people accountable. All right. And just to give you some examples, the next page is, my 7-figure goals, travel goals, different things of that nature. So do you stare at your goals? That was the point of me bringing that book up. And my goals around my home. All right. I have different pictures and images and words that I read on a daily basis that I constantly see, to the point where it's the only thing that I see. All right. So if you put your mindset and your sight in a space where that's all that you see, then it become that thing what you think about all the time. All right. So you have to stare at your goals. You have to cry about your goals. You have to envision your goals. You have to impregnate your goals emotionally. I tell people, you can't just see the goals. You have to live from it. You have to experience from that moment. All right. And man, it's just like, what people tend to do with their imagination and their senses is they only use it for destructive use. They panic when they think about flying on a helicopter. I mean, an airplane. They panic when they think about the worst case things. But what if you could take that same power and use it constructively? What versus crying about a flight, you could cry about that next blessing that's happening in your life, the next goal that you have on your life, the next desire that you're yearning for. Cry about those things, embody that experience. And you have to want it bad enough so you can embody it, guys. There are times I'm home and I'm meditating and I have my music, it's silence, and most of the time it's just quiet. But I sit there and talk to God and I say, God, thank you for possession. Thank you for access to my desires. Because what y'all got to understand is this. I've said this so many times before, that you are not asking God for something that he has not already done for you. You're asking access. Somebody dropped the word access in the chat box. All right. Because everything was created thousands of years ago. But you are in a space right now where you have to be obedient. You have to operate off of faith and works to get access to what he's already created for your life. All right. But if you're not taking action, if you are not operating with obsession and embodying these experiences, how are you going to attract what wants you want it? How is it going to want you? All right. The next thing is you have to have a strong work ethic. OK. Every single person, all of us out, we all have to go out here and we have to go after our goals, our dreams, our desires. Sometimes we're in situations of things. Some of us have jobs we don't really want to take advantage of. I mean, we don't really want to be on. I've been there. All right. But I still maintain a strong work ethic. I did a call a while back called surplus power. And surplus power means to give your all, to do way more than is required of you. Okay. And to fill up the day, to fill up the moment, to fill up that experience. And if you do that long enough, for instance, if you're eating right every day, maybe you're overweight, right? I'll give a prime example. Let me use myself. February 1st, I started a fitness journey. By the end of March, I was down 8 pounds. All right. I went on the trip. I was at Disney World. I walked 10 miles a day. I got back. I didn't do nothing. I was so fed up with walking. And I was also dealing with some other things as well. And I said, I just didn't even have the will. I couldn't even access my will no more. And so for good 30 days, I didn't do anything, guys. Well, good 21, 30 days. I didn't do absolutely anything. That's not a strong work ethic. I had a strong work ethic and then I stopped it. All right. It was a choice. It was a decision on my behalf. All right. So understand the results. As long as I maintain eating right every single day, jogging and working out, I was dropping weight like it was nothing. Y'all, a pound a week. That's how much weight I was losing. A pound a week doing that right. And so I talked to myself to that, because you know what? It's going to be so easy for me to resume that, to get back into that space, because I know I had the results and I had a strong work ethic. I knew exactly what needed to be done. And I was able to see what happens when you do things the right way. So again, that was me putting on my best suit every day. Surplus power, filling up my best health every day. So what if you could fill up your best work ethic, whether it's your job? I tell people all the time, you may not love your job, you may not love your career, but fill it up anyway, because what happens is you're going to outgrow that space, and the only thing that can happen is greater. You can't go below. All right. It's like outgrowing the shoe. You got to go to the next size. You got to go to the next level. All right. So have a strong work ethic. Get up every single day. That don't mean burn yourself out and have, and overwhelm yourself. It's just make a to-do list, make a task, and maximize every single moment of the day. All right. Give yourself a 30 minute break, or to an hour, whatever you need. Regroup, rejuvenate, and then resume. Because you got to understand that time is so precious. All right. The time you have on this linear plane is so precious, and you want to maximize every single moment. The next thing is you want to tap into a higher mental faculties. Well, what in the world is my higher mental faculties? All right. You want to be able to see the life you want to live. Do y'all know the life y'all want to live? Yes or no in the chat box. Somebody drop some yeses for me. Do you know the life you want to live? It is 100,000% yes for me. All right. What life do you want to live? You have to know what that is because you have to have a clear mental picture. All right. So the mental faculties, let me drop my yes because I know what life I want to live. All right. Let me see. Anybody with me? All right. Good deal. So your higher mental faculties. Well, the first one is intuition. All right. Now, some of us use our intuition when we're dealing with people and knuckleheads and stuff like that. But your intuition is your ability to understand something immediately. All right. I want to say more it's that subconscious feeling. It's that feeling in your gut. All right. What I like to call it your Holy Spirit. All right. It's that feeling within you that is not of the physical world. It's an internal feeling. Okay. And it allows you to make decisions or feel what you need to do without reasoning, right? You don't have a conversation with yourself. You just trust your gut. Anybody ever trusted their gut before? Yes or no in the chat box? You like, man, I just got to trust my gut on this. It's always this. Something is telling me to do it this way. I don't know what it is, but something is telling me to do it like this. And when you learn to be obedient to that something, it's really just awareness. Trust the spirit, trust God to make provision. That's just God making provision on your behalf. All right. So if it's something inside telling me, that's your intuition. All right. AKA God giving you some hints. Secondly, your next mental faculty is your imagination. Okay. Your imagination is your ability and your action. It's an action of forming new ideas, new images, new concepts of external things. Imagination is so dope, y'all. Like, think about that. We literally have an ability. We have the ability to create something in an internal space, right? And take that internal concept image and translate it into a physical plane, right? We could take it from here to here. Like I was like, hey, if it's a song I want to create, I first have it in my mind and then I put it on paper, right? I put it on the computer. I put it on the keyboard. You're able to translate these things into external objects that's not present to your senses yet. It's so amazing to think about that. And I hope y'all really meditate on your imagination. Is so beautiful. Like a lot of people take it for granted. Again, we use imagination for the wrong things. We use imagination for things that's destructive thinking. But think about how beautiful imagination. Disney built the most amazing, most visited amusement park in the world based off imagination. I went to Disney World last month. And I know for a fact that Beauty and the Beast is fake, right? But because I didn't allow my conscious mind, right, my reasoning mind to take dominance, I wanted to just live in that space. So I said, I was excited to take pictures with the characters, right? I was excited because submitted myself. I allowed myself to be vulnerable to my imagination, right? So think about what you could create. The most visited part, I forgot what the total was, but it was like 30,000 people a day. Maybe I think I'm all off. It was something crazy like that, but the numbers are just mind blowing. How many people visit this park on these parks on a daily basis, strictly based off imagination. Adults or just big kids too, myself, right? So imagination is the faculty, it's the action of forming ideas, images, and concepts of external objects. You can internally create an image on an external object that hasn't touched your senses yet. Man, y'all got to get in with that. It's so amazing. And then you can get so involved in your imagination that it creates your senses. It triggers your senses. All right. Now the next faculty is reason. Reasoning is what it didn't allow me to have reasoning is what I didn't allow myself to use when I was at Disney World. Somebody can say, well, I know these characters are fake. I know it's a human on the inside. Well, they're not attuned with their imagination. They're not being vulnerable to that space. And reason is thinking about logic. It's thinking about things in a sensible way. All right. Sometimes reason can be a downside because you don't know how to use it constructively. All right. You're too stiff. You're too serious all the time. All right. But you use it. I feel like reasoning is effective if you know how to use it the right way. I always tell people for me, I'm a day trader as well. For those of you who don't know, you have to come to day trading with reason, with logic. You can't come to here with emotion. You can use imagination to a certain degree because you're thinking about the end, but you got to keep the emotional side out of it because you have to use logic. All right. The next mental faculty is called perception. What is perception? I love perception, y'all. It is the ability to see. It is the ability to hear or become aware of something through your senses. Your perception is created through your senses. It helps you to regard things, understand things, interpretation. It's a mental impression. Again, perception, the ability to see, hear, become aware of something through your senses. So what do I tell people? What do you want, baby? All right. What is it that you want? Use your imagination to create that image. All right. Use your senses to start triggering. Okay, let me read this up. Use your senses to allow yourself to start having what I call those triggering moments. Okay. Put yourself in that space so that you can become aware of what it is that you want. You should know your desires. You can know all these things, but if you put yourself in a space of feeling it, your perception begins to change. Your perception begins to change. Your awareness increases. All right. So what have you done lately to activate your sensory, to have a sensory experience? All right. What have you done lately for a sensory experience? Go out of your element. Do things more than what you do on a daily routine, on a weekly routine. Get yourself in that space, y'all. All right. Your senses, by the way, is the faculty in which your body perceives external stimulus. All right. Your sight, seeing, tasting, smelling, and touching. So you use those amazing senses that God gave you. First of all, you use your amazing imagination. Think about what it is that you want in your mind. You haven't even physically touched nothing yet. It's so dope. I love imagination. All right. And then you go touch, taste, smell, see. And what happens is as you touch, taste, smell, see, you're creating a sensory experience. That experience is going to give you what? Perception. All right. And it's also going to stimulate you. Okay. But if you find yourself being in this mundane, same routine, and you haven't gotten out, because you can still have goals and dreams and desires, guys, but you can burn yourself out if you're not allowing yourself to remember the vision, the why, and triggering your senses. All right. Go on a vacation, go out on a night's fun, do those things and say, okay, this is why. What did I just do recently? My cousin, I picked up some of my cousins lately. I've been taking them under my wing and mentoring them. Some of them have financial situations that they're dealing with, homeless people that I see on the street. And when I have these experiences, it triggers my senses. And guess what happens to my senses? It creates a perception. Their perception also stimulates my imagination. You know what? I'm so excited about my 7-figure journey. I'm so excited about building this business. I cannot wait to give money away. That's all I be saying. I can't wait to give money away. I can't wait to help more people. I cannot wait to put more people in position for success, whether that's physically, mentally, socially, financially, right? And so why? Because I had an experience, all right? Somebody drop EXP in the chat box. We ain't gonna write out the whole word experience unless you just got that kind of time. But drop EXP in the chat box because we got to make sure we have sensory experiences, all right? This building that I live in, it was still being built. Okay, I love to bring it up. And if y'all tired of hearing this here story, just give me one more time. It was still dirt and wood, and they were still trying to have it. They had the cranes all over the place. And every Sunday after church, I would come here. I would sit outside on the road, try not to look like a creep. And I would just sit there and say, God, thank you so much that I live in unit so-and-so. God, I'm so happy and grateful now that I live in Powers Ferry. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have my 2-bedroom. I'm so happy. I would just say, and I would get embodied. And I got to a point where I would cry. Why? Because I went there. It wasn't even finished being built yet, but I took myself there. I put myself in an emotional experience. That emotional experience put me in the end. And guess what? We've been living here over a year now. Absolutely love it. Absolutely amazing space. You gotta, and then the biggest thing about what I'm saying, guys, is you gotta believe what I'm saying. You can take notes. You could do all those things, but you have failed if you don't go apply it. It doesn't matter. You have failed if you don't go apply it. What good is a nugget if you don't go apply it within 24 hours? All right? You got to activate it. What's his name? Jim Rohn talks about something, the law of latency. When you don't take action on decisions, when you don't take action on your goals and desires, when things trigger, when you don't take action in that moment, well, not enough action leads to it just completely starts to fade away. And that initial excitement you have, you don't act on it. And so it's no longer there. All right. So my challenge for you on tonight is what experiences are you going to go put yourself in? Now, that don't mean you got to go spend a whole bunch of money. Sometimes you just, sometimes it just takes you just to get close enough to it. Smell, taste, touch, see. All right. Find a way. There's always a way to put yourself in the experience. Okay. Your imagination can be stimulated by your senses, ladies and gentlemen. It creates that perception. You got to practice thinking. You got to practice being aware. You got to practice being intentional. Okay. And last but not least, 3 things you have to do is make a decision. You have to have the discipline, and you have to have a desire. All right. At some point, you got to say enough is enough. Okay. At some point, you got to say enough is enough. Enough of the bad habits, enough of the indecision, enough of the struggle, enough of the bad relationships, enough of you settling for the career, enough of the bad health, enough of the bad mindset, enough of the unforgiveness, the hatred, the bitterness, the unforgiveness. At some point, you have to say enough is enough. All right. You got to fight your problems with a burning desire, be real. You have to fight your problems, overcome your problems with a burning desire. Money will cure worldly issues. It will help the needy. It will help us in our own personal lives, right? Eating better will help us in our own personal lives. Giving every single day, whether you're giving a compliment, giving love, just sending somebody a nice compliment or doing nice gestures, guys, it's going to come back to you. All right. But until you are fed up enough, all right, until you're fed up enough, you're going to be in that same space. I'm so tired of people talking about what they're going to do. All right. Whether it be you a man or woman, you got to go in. Somebody say, I'm going in. I'm going in. All right. You got to go in. So you got to decide when enough is enough. And in that space of you pursuing and waiting to get access to it, you got to have complete gratitude and not just say you're grateful, but your body action, your demeanor, your mannerisms. All right. I was just speaking to a young lady today, Miss Andrea, and she was saying, I was telling her, I'm going through some emotional events, but ultimately I'm blessed, I'm amazing. And she said, you know what? I don't think I've ever heard you not be amazing. And that meant something to me, because it's like, I do my best to be that, right? There's still adversity that I deal with, but I know the power of my feelings. I know what I feel is what I'm going to attract. I know I can't just say stuff. My heart has to feel what it is that I attract, that sensory experience, all right? So right now is a 7-figure journey. So I have my trading plan. Now, how do you feel 7 figures? Well, what type of 7-figure person am I? I'm more of the Warren Buffett type, all right? I'm going to have a lot of wealth, but I'm going to look old school as all get out, all right? Your Mark Zuckerberg wearing the same t-shirt, that's me. So I look at these type of people. I look at their habits, and I say, hey, Mark, it was good talking to you today, all right? I might go to their pages. I may see what they're doing. Oh, it's cool. Mark went to the party. I'll do little stuff like that. Some people may call it off. That's weird, but whatever you call it, I can't afford not to be weird. All right. All right. So whatever you want to categorize it as, but this is my trading plan. I look at it. Okay. Good job today, B. We done knocked out the next trade. Look at you. Dang, this account is at 7 figures now. So I talk in present tense. All right. And then I have an image of the trading account on the front of the book. You finally did it. But I talk in present tense. I don't talk as if I'm hoping for it to happen or waiting on it to happen. All right. I talk as if it exists today. That is the separation. So as you go through your process, all right, you got to operate as if in possession. All right. If you're looking for it, let's say somebody went to go buy a new car today. Well, sometimes we say, I cannot wait to get my new car. Man, I'm excited about getting a new car. This car I got right now, oh, I got me an LS. Oh, yeah, it's outside. All right. The house, oh, yeah, my house is on River Valley Road, 362 River Valley Road. Yeah, 10,000 square feet. You got to get into that youthful imagination. And if you can access that power and very consciously access it and marry it with your subconscious mind, oh my goodness, you will be unstoppable. Okay. You will be unstoppable. So the 7 things we went over, guys, is to make sure you become goal obsessed. All right. Be emotionally attached to what it is that you want. Have a positive mental attitude. Think about the greats, all the adversity that they go through. Hell, think about Martin Luther King. Okay, if you want somebody with a positive mental attitude, think about Martin Luther King. All right, stronger, bigger. All right, the crying and whining won't cut it. We all got stuff going on. Your crying and whining ain't more important than mine. All right, suck it up, deal with it, keep going. All right, lock in to mentorship, whether they are dead or alive. You got some of the greatest mindset people in the world. All right, Napoleon Hill, Joseph Murphy, Les Brown. It's so many people, numerous amount of people. All right. And don't just listen to them, study them. Why did they say this? Why did they tell me to do this? What lesson did they learn from saying that? What experiences did they go through? Study how they think, not necessarily what they're giving. Okay. Build a champion belief mindset, stare at your goals, embody your goals, meditate on your goals, emotionally involved with your goals to the point that it literally triggers you crying. Okay. And the metaphor I gave was if somebody ever seen somebody who's scared to fly or or they're scared of snakes, whatever it is, and they just drive up, just the thought of it makes them cry or scared and lose their mind. Well, take that same amount of effort, but put it towards something constructive, towards your goals and your dreams and desires. Have a strong work ethic, tap into your mental faculties, which is intuition, which is imagination, reason, perception. I forgot will, and your senses. Okay. And this, you have to have be good at decision making, discipline, and your desire. All right. You got to say enough is enough. Okay. Once you get fed up, you'll get there. All right. You got to clean up. Okay. All right. But that's our call tonight, guys. I hope you guys got some great value, because at the end of the day, we know what we should do, but you got to get to that point where you're fed up and you really, really want to have a change. Okay. Override. I don't want to go back too deep into that call, but remember that you can have, there's two versions of you. There's a conscious version of you and there's a subconscious version of you. And the conscious version is me talking to you right now. And we can say we're committed to something. We can make a decision about something. But the subconscious version of us, which is the habitual side of us, well, I could say, hey, man, I'm going to go to bed tonight. I'm going to go to bed at 10:30 every night now, which I never do. Hey, y'all, I'm making a commitment to go to bed at 10:30. That's the conscious side of me. But I have to make a subconscious decision, meaning I actually have to put it in plan. I got to put it into a routine. I got to put it in motion and stick it out for at least 63 days for it to become a habit, so it can translate from my conscious mind to my subconscious mind. Because what will happen is you will always be having a conversation with yourself, but never changing. And that is possible because everybody does it. So you have to have the awareness that you just don't make decisions, but you actually make a plan for that decision to become a part of your identity. All right. So the subconscious version of you is who you really are. If your subconscious and conscious mind touch and agree, then you're the same person. Your actions always speak louder than your words. All right. But if you don't consciously make that decision, subconsciously translate that, put that thing in your heart, put it in your mind, put it into your routine, you'll never have a change. All right. So know there's two versions of you. But once the subconscious mind and conscious mind marry, then that's who you'll become. All right. So let's get it, family. What's our hashtag on tonight? Did y'all get some value on tonight? Y'all some ones, some flames, whatever you want. If you ain't get no value, that's fine too. I ain't tripping. I'm just glad you're here. What's our hashtag tonight, Miss Green? Give it to me. Give it to me. We got Dog on the line. We got Miss SJ, Joe on the line. Terry, good to see you. I know we just had the other Terry on the call. Miss Holmes, good to see everybody on this call. Appreciate y'all taking time out and let me talk y'all head off. Desire, decision, and discipline. Now, Ashley, I'm gonna just copy and paste what you wrote. You type that fast. I'm just copy and paste what you wrote. Everybody just take Ashley's message and copy it over to the Generational Wealth Community chat. And let's make it happen. All right, guys, I have a beautiful night. I will drop the playback soon. Remember, you got what it takes, man. Just have a clear vision. Get yourself in extension. Don't allow your responsibilities, okay, to have you neglect your desires. Okay. Don't let your responsibilities neglect you from having your own experience, your own involvement in your goals and dreams. Just always make sure you go give yourself a taste test. That's all it is. Go give yourself a taste test of what it is that you want. Maybe you got to go stand outside the building. Okay. Maybe you got to stalk certain people or do certain things to just to connect with it. But ultimately, if you can get as close as you can to activate your senses, that's good enough. All right. But y'all have a beautiful night. Be blessed. What will we say? Discipline, desire, and decisions. All right. Peace and blessings, family. Take care.